The biggest thing that is holding back all of us, me included, from whatever we want is not recognizing things, not seeing it, right? Like, I didn't realize for 25 years as a manager that my lack of candor, Garyvee, for all of you, is very candorous. It's a strength. Gary Vaynerchuk, the CEO of 2,000 people at VaynerX, struggled with candor because if I like you, it's harder for me to say something. This is, when you're posting to the world. So you're not talking to anybody specifically. When you're talking to a direct report that you're in the trenches with every day, they become your brother and sister. They become family when you're really about it. And it's sometimes hard to tell them they stink at something because for me, the number one thing I hate in the world is fear. I hate fear. And a lot of people weaponize fear to get people to do what they want. Politicians, teachers, parents. Fear is weaponized often. I used to think that me telling you, if you were working for me, Dan, like, hey, Dan, you're really you're awesome, but you're not great at this, and this. And if you don't fix it, this is not gonna work out. I thought when you would walk out that you were scared and that you were halfway out the door and self-esteem was fucked up. And I didn't know how to find that balance. I've been able to fix that in the last 5 years and it's changed a lot for my company and my world. I didn't see my lack of candor as a kryptonite. The reason so many people here don't follow easy things is, one, it's not easy for them. I've started to get serious about my health about 10 years ago and I go to the gym pretty consistently, but to this day, I fucking hate it. Waking up tomorrow and it's gonna rain in New York and the fucking Jets are gonna probably lose tomorrow. And so I'm already in a bad mood, and waking up at 8 and having to put in a workout is the least natural thing. Yet if you told me, Gary, we need to work 98 hours straight on this to solve it, I'd be like, let's start right now. That's easy. So for a lot of people, it doesn't come natural. The reason, Dan, I think for a lot of people, it doesn't come natural is they're chasing the financial part of it. And so by chasing the financial part of it, they don't really like it, which is why they want it to happen faster, which is why they don't follow the work ethic required. I understand that because that's how I lived my life in health and wellness, and that's how I lived my life as a student. I didn't like it, which is why I sucked at it. And there was no thing I could do to fix those two areas. But in business and entrepreneurship, I loved it. It's my life. I'm pure fucking bred entrepreneur. I like the game. And so it comes easy. But I think what I'm hoping is that if people realize in this new internet world that is now mature, that we all live in, they can, instead of chasing the next trend, if they chase a category of passion, something they like, and build a business around that, they're far more likely to pull it off, because when they wake up, they actually want to do it because the thing is interesting, not the shit they get from the thing.
Back in 2019, you led me to a passion project. We were at a sports card convention called the National. 100,000 people there. I just happened to be in Chicago. Gary's there, he's got his booth there. And I come by the card show, and you've got, at the time, 900 employees. Now you have 2,000. You had 900 employees. And I watched you buy a sports card for 60 bucks and spend an hour negotiating with someone else to sell it for 100 bucks. So you're gonna make $40 while you have 900 employees back home. And it's burned into my mind. Why? What is so much about the game? Or
because what was $40 fucking dollars in profit's a fucking come up. but I'll let you finish, but I just want to go back. That story's real, and it's completely the follow-up to what I just said. Me buying a sports card for 60 bucks from one booth, walking around for an hour, and then selling it for 100, and making those $40 gets my juices going way more than when VaynerMedia lands a $10 million account, and it's not even fucking close. If you can find that in your actual day-to-day, you will get much further than you can ever imagine, because you'll have the fucking fuel to get it.
So for people out there that are trying to figure out the thing that they like, sports cards and Pokemon, working for an accountant, a lawyer, real estate, selling door-to-door, selling solar, working with these companies, how do they find that thing that makes them excited?
You have to taste shit. I texted 7 to 10 people to come by the National in Chicago in 19. You said yes. You had no fucking idea. You just showed up, and then it led to something. The amount of people here that start conversations with no breaks my soul. Most of the best shit that was ever destined to happen in your life, you said no to. We have to, especially this crew, one of the tenets of business or entrepreneurial success is to be in the business of maybe instead of the business of no. If you're in the business of maybe, you spend a little time double clicking into shit. If you're in the business of no, you already lost. There's so many people here, Dan, that say, well, Gary, I say no because I'm saving my time. My time is precious. When their time isn't worth as much as they think. It's fucking ego. Your time's not as valuable as you think. And understanding the power of maybe is humongous. And so the way they all figure it out is by saying maybe, which leads them to doing 7 to 20 things or going to 7 to 20 things that they wouldn't have prior. And in one of those 7 to 20 things is the fucking thing. I mean, I think for the OGs in this crowd, call it 42 and above years old, a lot of us in this crowd that are of that age realize that entrepreneurship wasn't in the zeitgeist of popular culture. When I was growing up, there weren't entrepreneurs to look up to. It wasn't a thing. It was all about go to the best college you can get into and go into the corporate game. And so as things evolved with the internet and social media, there was a point where I realized, oh shit, entrepreneurship is now cool. Right. And that was neat, and I thought that was fucking amazing, and I was like in it, and I was like, okay, let's understand what this means. And then over the next 3 to 4 years, it became obvious to me that a lot of people talked about it because it became cool, the way they would talk about sports or being a rapper. Like kids in high school are like, I'm gonna make the league, I'm gonna be in the NBA, or I'm gonna be a famous rapper. That wasn't the way that people talked about being an entrepreneur, but that had started to happen because entrepreneurship became popular culture. It was then that I was like, you know what? There's so much confusion of what it is required to pull this off. And I think for everyone in this, conference, the more you go through it, I don't know where everyone is on their journey, but the more we go through it, the more you realize you can fake it for a while, but it's just not sustainable. And for me, I got lucky because this all didn't happen when I was 17. This all happened when I was in my late 30s. I was already on the back end of putting in the work. The other thing that I desperately wish for everyone here, more than how much money they are able to make, is for them to be happy. And I mean that because everyone here knows unlimited people that have money that are having terrible lives. They're anxious, they've got real issues, and there's nothing good about that. So it became important to me 7, 8, 10 years ago to really do what I could to show that the truth of the matter is that the work is part of the equation, that you aren't looking for the quick way to do it, you're looking for the most sustainable way for you to do it. And really being self-aware and reverse engineering who the fuck you are and then putting yourself in a position to do that is always gonna lead to the thing that everybody wants. And so, I felt it was in my stomach and I wanted to put it out there, and I did, and obviously it led to people seeing maybe a different version of it. I'm thrilled when people use me as a proxy of what they want to do or of what they don't want to do. Plenty of people in these circles will come to me and be like, Gary, I don't believe in what you're saying. I'm like, that's amazing. Do you? I don't think I'm right. I think I'm right for me. And I think that means it's right for some of you. And then it means that it's some parts of what I do is right for you. And that's the fucking game, Dan.